Well, we might have some more folks join, but I think we're ready, Jessica, if you want to kick us off.
Sounds good. Thank you, Becca. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the annual call. I'm grateful you can join us today. My name is Jessica McMurray. I work with the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and I'm the current board chair for the Coalition of Home Repair. The Coalition for Home Repair is the premier nonprofit organization promoting and supporting the work of home repair and rehabilitation partners nationwide. We provide funding, advocacy, and educational resources to ensure the preservation of safe, healthy, affordable housing for all. Our mission statement is to promote the preservation of healthy, affordable housing for all by supporting the work of home repair and rehabilitation partners nationwide. Before our staff shares about the impact of our members and coalition updates, I have a very important person to introduce you to. That person is our new executive director, Freya Harris. Freya brings a wealth of experience that will be critical for the coalition to implement our vision and strategic plan. I, along with our board of directors, have full confidence in her ability to champion our organization to partners nationwide. Freya was unanimously approved by our board of directors after considering more than 100 candidates. Her experience makes her uniquely qualified to lead the organization and execute our 10-year strategic plan. A seasoned leader, Freya has a robust executive and consulting experience helping companies further diversity, equity, and inclusion. She has held roles in nonprofit fundraising, as well as both private and public sector funders. As a lawyer, Freya has demonstrated success in policy and advocacy around housing issues and homelessness. At this time, I would like to invite Freya to introduce herself, her team, and share a welcome with each of you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to see so many people joining today. Thank you for the introduction, Jessica, and for your time and hard work overseeing a successful transition plan. As Jessica said, my name is Freya Harris. I'm the Coalition's Executive Director. I join a growing team at the Coalition, and our staff is pictured here. I will give a brief introduction to our staff, and you will have the opportunity to hear from each person on our team today. But before I get started, I just want to mention that it is National Women's in Construction Week. Just want to make sure that we give a shout out to those hardworking women. Now to our amazing team of women. Becca Davis, co-founder and executive advisor, is helping oversee this successful transition, and it has been a wonderful first month working with her. Blair Pekowski, Program Coordinator and Compliance Officer, is overseeing implementation of the Veteran Home Repair and Modification Pilot Program, as well as managing our professional development programs, including webinars and the annual Reframe Conference that I hope to see many of you at. Adrian Osborne, Membership and Operations Coordinator, ensures a high-quality membership experience and onboarding, as well as manages our internal operations. Melanie Campbell, Communications and Marketing Coordinator, keeps members informed of programs and events and oversees our external marketing. I'm proud to lead this team and represent our members across the country. Coretta Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." The vision and commitment of Becca Davis, the board of directors, and the staff have established a solid foundation for the coalition structure to rise to new heights of finding opportunity and expand throughout the United States. As I intend to make evident through my actions, I'm equally committed to fulfilling the coalition's purpose and supporting members to achieve their goals of keeping families and individuals in healthy and financially sustainable homes. Although home ownership is a dream of many, too often, once achieved, it is only possible to maintain with adequate resources. In particular, the challenges of the past 3 years have worsened the burden on households and organizations attempting to keep housing safe and affordable. Despite all that we as a country have experienced, the coalition is primed to do more to help its members deliver premier services to the communities that they seek to serve. I look forward to working alongside each of you in the 2023 and beyond. I'm joining the team during a period of impact and growth, much to the success of Becca Davis. It is only fitting she shares about the Coalition's 2022 programmatic and organizational impact. Thank you, Becca.
Thanks, Freya. 2022 was an incredible year for the Coalition. We offered more programs than we'd ever offered before. And some of our new programs that we offered in the last year included a fundraising boot camp, an aging in place cohort, a falls prevention research project cohort, and also our construction workforce development cohort concluded. We also continued to offer several different affinity groups, offered monthly webinars, and led a national advocacy campaign. We also hosted the 12th annual National Reframe Conference, which was a hybrid event. And additionally, we invested in certifications for our members for the very first time. We made it possible for 50 of our members to become certified aging in place specialists, which is the CAPS designation, or to receive their lead renovation, repair, and painting RRP certification. And perhaps our biggest win was that we wrote a successful HUD Veterans Grant application, and we were awarded a $1 million federal grant. Organizationally, our revenue increased significantly, which allowed us to offer new types of professional development for our members. We invested nearly $170,000 in pass-through funds in the form of Lowe's gift cards, disaster recovery mini grants, and more in 2022 for our members. And last year was our first full year operating as the Coalition for Home Repair. We rebranded. Formerly, we were called Reframe. And with that became a lot of administrative and communication updates that were needed behind the scenes. But the brand change has been really positive for us, and it definitely reflects our mission and vision better. So Reframe Association has been officially dissolved, but we continue to use the Reframe name in our annual national conference. And of course, an important task for us at the end of last year was seeking our new executive director. So we began the search in December and wrapped it up successfully earlier this year with the hiring of Freya. I'm so excited to have her champion and implement the strategic plan that was approved by our board of directors last year. This Friday will be my last full day with the Coalition. And then after a few weeks off, I'll be continuing as an executive advisor for the Coalition in a very part-time capacity. We'll be getting my new full-time remote role. I'll be working with Agile Cloud Consulting, which is a firm in New York City that helps nonprofits implement Salesforce. It has been so amazing to watch the Coalition grow from a small regional conference to a rapidly growing national network. And I really want to thank each of you for bringing my vision for the Coalition to life. I couldn't be more excited to pass the torch to Freya. I know she is the right person to help the Coalition move on to the next level. So Freya, please share with everybody about our 10-year strategic plan and this next year's strategic plan, and what can people expect from us in 2023?
Thank you, Becca. As a result of Becca's tireless efforts these past 10 years, the organization truly does have a solid foundation for growth in pursuing our mission of preserving safe, healthy, and affordable homes, while staying true to focusing on supporting home repair and rehabilitation partners. We intend to broaden our partnership base to include various organizations or individuals who share our vision of reducing homelessness and increasing affordability of housing through the proactive approach of repair, rehabilitation, and modification. We know that repair and rehabilitation can be a path far less costly than rehousing individuals and families, with long-term benefits for communities as a whole. However, the work of maintaining affordable and safe housing must be tackled on all sides and in various ways. The Coalition for Home Repair is in a position to make repair and rehabilitation a priority throughout the nation that will become well-funded and supported by local and federal legislation. At the same time, we want to make sure our home repair partners are also primed for the opportunities we are seeking together. For instance, the area of membership and partner engagement, we intend to increase the number and variety of membership benefits that support the operations of members, support innovative cohort and affinity groups to promote sustainability and connectivity, highlight the efforts of our members when we engage in advocacy, networking, and grant development. In the areas of advocacy and networking, we intend to increase our name recognition and contribution to the affordable housing preservation field through publications, presentations, and events. We will continue partnering with national housing advocacy organizations at the federal level while developing our own unique advocacy platform specific to home repair and rehabilitation that promotes greater housing equity, affordability, and accessibility for all. We will educate the general public of the benefits of home repair and maintenance, as well as connect people to local organizations that can support them to keep their homes livable. In the area of grant and sponsorship development, we intend to develop a fundraising plan that will diversify our revenue to maintain and grow programming and offer multiple pass-through funding options for home repair and rehabilitation members. We will stay connected to our grantors and sponsors to keep them informed of the impact of our members and the Coalition for Home Repair. In the area of programming and education, other programs based on best practices will be offered to build expertise of our members over time. We will increase regional engagement through education programs designed to address regional needs. We will convene our members and partners at our annual conference in locations throughout the United States to increase the diversity of our membership and partners, as well as improve networking and learning opportunities. There is so much ahead for us, and it's very exciting. This is a tremendous opportunity for the Coalition's future, and we are so grateful to walk this next leg of the journey with you and many new partners along the way. And so now I turn to Blair to share more about our programs.
Thank you, Freya. When we plan programs, we look at information shared by executive staff in the annual contact person survey. We asked about your top needs in 3 primary areas: home repair programs, organizational operations, and fundraising. The slide here shows the top 3 subtopics members have designated as highest priority among each of these categories. These were pretty clear goals across the board for members, so we'll be focusing professional development around helping members grow in the following areas. In home repair programs, we'll focus on engaging skilled volunteers with repairs, implementation of best practices, and aging in place. In organizational operations, we'll focus on general efficiencies and operating models, technology and systems infrastructure, grants management, and compliance. And finally, in fundraising, we'll focus on annual fund development, grant prospecting and research, and federal grant writing. This is what you've told us you need, so here's our plan to provide that. Moving forward, we will be offering extended webinars. We'll roll out a new standard version of what we consider a webinar. Each webinar will be 2 parts. First, a presentation component, and second, an opportunity for open roundtable discussion immediately following. We expect these webinars to last between an hour and 90 minutes, depending on the specific program. This will not only provide expert content, but also provide space to seek best practice information, examples from peers, and have space to ask advice. At least for 2023, these will take the place of spring summits as we onboard our staff, and we hope to revisit a larger virtual event in 2024. We anticipate at least 6 extended webinars this year, and we've already got 4 booked for the spring. Here's what they are. Our first extended webinar is on April 4th. This webinar serves to meet express needs relating to systems management and annual fund planning. Our webinar will be Evaluating Tech for Organizational Growth, led by Samantha Shirley. Samantha led a highly rated Reframe conference session in 2020 about keeping CRM data healthy. Some of you might know her from her time at Charity Proud. Registration for this webinar and all webinars we're sharing about today is currently open on our website. Samantha will speak about prospecting, identifying, and implementing effective tech tools, including CRMs. This will be applicable for tools like project management software, volunteer registration programs, and more. Open Roundtable will be available for you to ask your CRM and systems questions to your peers. This webinar is a great fit for fundraising staff, systems admins, operations managers, or executive staff who sign off on pursuing new products, and it's free for our members. Our next webinar hopes to meet your needs about pursuing and managing federal grants. The member-led panel about exploring USDA funding opportunities will focus on the U.S. Department of Agricultural federal funding opportunities, including the Home Preservation Grant, HPG, and 504 grants and loans alongside 502 loans. This webinar will be April 18th. Last year, the HPG cycle opened at the end of May and awards were made in July. So they may have a quick turnaround on the application again this year. April is a great time to explore and connect with other interested members, so you're in a strong position when the application does open. We also recently hosted a panel webinar about managing federal grants. That recording is available in your member compass. Our third spring webinar will be recruiting and retaining volunteers and donors. This will be led by Coalition board member and former Sierra Service Project summer staffer, Sarah Platnick. Sarah is highly skilled in PR and marketing. This webinar will focus on how to tailor your recruitment messaging and engage the volunteer and donor through the entire partnership cycle of recruitment, engagement, and retention. This webinar will be May 2nd. And finally, our last webinar in May will be about cultivating the digital donor or volunteer and led by Coalition staff member, Melanie Campbell. In this webinar, Melanie will share ideas for 7 digital touch points to show a supporter their impact on your program. These are low-cost, high-impact tools most any organization can implement. Melanie has increased digital fundraising by an average of 40% annually for the past 3 years at member organization Rebuild Upstate. So these are tried and true tactics that work and are built around a home repair program. You can register for any of these events on our website today. While webinars serve to meet your greatest needs right now, we have year-round programming with cohorts and affinity groups that speak to trends and organizational interests. In fact, later this month, we're kicking off a brand new affinity group. The Interfaith Affinity Group grew out of a need for a deeper understanding of the religious diversity among our members, employees, volunteers, and the communities we serve. It exists to discuss the role our religion, whatever that might be, has on the work we do. We will respectfully acknowledge religious identities and the identities of those we interact with. We will discuss such things as organizational policies, procedures, recruitment within the faith-based community, and beyond. We hope you'll join us for the kickoff meeting of the first Interfaith Community Roundtable on March 21st. We hope to open additional spots for Certified Aging in Place Specialist certifications as part of a small self-paced Aging in Place cohort this year. Stay tuned for application details announced later in the year. We also anticipate a few spots opening in the second round of the Fall Prevention cohort, which is a data collection project. We also hope to get initial findings from that research later this year. Other ongoing affinity groups include the Anti-Racism Community of Practice, Healthy Homes Affinity Group, the Camp Model Roundtable for those who work with overnight fee-paying volunteers, and the Kingdom Builders Faith Affinity Group. All of these webinars, affinity groups, and cohorts are on our event calendar as we speak. We've never had this many events going on at one time on our calendar before. The main view shows a list with events by date. You can see on the side here, you can always toggle to a calendar view and even filter by program type, such as webinar or affinity group if you get overwhelmed by the offerings. I can't wait to learn alongside each of you this year. Of course, our largest program is the Reframe Conference, which is currently being planned. Freya is going to share dates and a fun announcement relating to the 2023 conference.
Thank you, Blair. The 13th annual National Reframe Conference will be on November 8th through 10th at the Meadowview Conference Center in Kingsport, Tennessee. And we are very excited to say that we have a theme already early in this year. This year, Reframe Conference will explore housing equity and the ways we can build equitable programs, relationships, and internal systems. And our theme is housing renewed, equitable, accessible, durable. We anticipate opening early bird registration in June. The conference will include some sort of virtual component. Our staff is developing a plan that supports the highest quality experience for all and is within staff's capacity and event budget. We also hope to open an RFP for session presenters this spring so that we can help us by submitting your own ideas for proposals or sharing the RFP with contacts in your network. We're really looking for innovation, new voices to bring to this conference. And I can't wait to see all of you in November. We'll be sure to communicate early and often regarding the additional conference details when they are available. And next, I turn to Melanie, who's going to share data from our most recent impact report.
Thank you, Freya, and thank you to all of our member organizations who submitted an impact report this year. We had just over 70 total submissions. So this data represents the impact of those members. And I apologize, I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. I have a 2-year-old in preschool, so apologize just for that. But this year was year 2 with our grants portal. So I'd especially like to thank everyone who asked questions so we can continue to improve the portal for future users. One of the reasons we did shift to that portal was so that we can do fun and powerful things with the data that you're submitting. So let's take a look at some highlights. There were about 6,150 homes repaired last year, about 21,000 unique repair projects completed, and 12,400 total residents served. And I'd also like to thank Lowe's for donating gift cards towards our impact report program. We're pursuing grants, and so we sort of need the data either way, but definitely having that gift card makes submitting data a little bit sweeter. And we have repaired just about 60,000 homes since 2016. It's really exciting to see that number climb every year. And about 134 total low-income residents. And among those residents, members have helped more than 47,000 people with disabilities, 25,000 children, 8,500 veterans, and more than 70,000 older adults. So you're doing really powerful work for a lot of vulnerable populations. So we know it takes time for you to gather and submit your data. We do use it to seek grants and resources on your behalf, but it can also be useful to you and your organization as a benchmarking tool compared to other organizations with similar budget sizes, which is what you're seeing here on this chart. So if you look at the colors, it's hard to see, but the light blue represents small organizations, the green is medium, the brighter yellow is large, and that orange color is extra large. That's on both charts. And again, this is by the revenue amount you submitted on your impact report, not your membership size that you paid dues for. So we did break it down by revenue. But if you're looking by budget size, on average, across all member sizes, members repaired 85 homes about. So you can see smaller organizations around 33, medium around 92, large around just about 103, and then extra large around 123. And then 2.8 on the chart on the right is the average total repairs per home. So 2.8 was the average repairs made at each home. And you can see the breakdown of that. The highest was our large members at just over 4 repairs per home. And it's not pictured, but the average total number of residents served annually was 172. We will be sharing a more in-depth report with additional benchmarks back with the organizations who submitted an impact report. You can expect things like percent growth in annual revenue or percent change in homes repaired or projects, all by budget size. So if you would like to receive that report, but you have not submitted an impact report, you can still submit that report this week. But please submit that by Friday because I'll be working on putting that report together in the coming weeks, and we will be sharing that report back with members who submitted an impact report in April. And now we're going to have Adrian and some other staff members share some of the big wins that you all shared with us in your contact person survey.
Melanie, thank you so much. Well, we asked and you answered. In your contact person survey submitted earlier this year, we asked that you share a win from 2022 with us. There was no win too big or too small. We're going to share some of those wins here to celebrate all of your hard work. You can celebrate wins also by sharing congratulations in the chat box. We'll be sharing about 20 wins. We wish that we could share them all, but due to our time, we can't. You can share your own organization's wins and victories in the chat box as we go. First, Appalachian Service Project doubled their number of volunteers from 2021 to 2022, and they spent over $674,000 in grant funding to complete home repairs.
Buckeye Ridge Habitat for Humanity, Inc. received their first USDA Housing Preservation Grant and relaunched their critical home repair program.
The city of Huntington, West Virginia completed rehab activities for 103 homeowners using a combination of volunteers and contracted assistance. And this is a transition from a pilot project to a standing home repair program. And they were able to accomplish all of this despite staff changes, a budget cut, skyrocketing material costs, and supply chain issues.
Community Housing Coalition of Madison County received the 2022 Housing North Carolina Award, and they won the Home Ownership Impact Award from North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. Additionally, they purchased and renovated a building to be their office.
Good Neighbors Home Repair launched a pilot of Healthy Homes initiative in partnership with Highmark for funding and Christian care for referrals. Their goal is to help seniors age safely in place. They expanded geographically in 2022 into nearby southern Lancaster County.
Good Works launched a Faith Ambassador program with 3 other coalition member organizations, and they completed their first Federal Home Loan Bank Affordable Housing Program grant.
Habitat for Humanity of Wisconsin River area turned up the heat in their repair program. They tripled their repairs from last year. They hosted their first event with the local fire department. In conjunction with their repair team and the fire department staff, they installed smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and replaced many batteries, leaving homeowners with a renewed sense of security and a deeper connection with their community.
Hinton Rural Life Center increased their use of Salesforce for data tracking and reporting. They also connected with the executive team from a health insurance company, connecting the dots between home repairs and health.
The Housing Development Alliance shared with us that 3 counties that they serve were hit hard by a historic flood, and over 1,200 homes were destroyed and over 5,000 were reported as a partial loss. So the nonprofit completely revamped their business model so that they could mobilize their crews to help with flood relief. Typically, most of their revenue comes from construction, but they sacrificed that revenue to provide flood relief services for which they received no funding. And by the end of 2022, they had served nearly 70 families with their flood recovery and relief efforts.
Jerusalem Farm began a dignified workforce development program. This program serves 2 major functions. One is to provide living wage jobs to neighborhood residents, especially immigrants and refugees. The second is to create a skilled local workforce to serve alongside volunteers. This year, they hired 7 workers from their neighborhood to assist in home repair projects, and those hires are each first or second generation immigrants or refugees.
Mountaintop started a housing hub in partnership with several other nonprofits in finance and housing to be a one-stop resource for housing access and information for folks in their area. They also created a fun and informative podcast to go with it.
Rebuilding Together Petaluma went through a leadership transition. They hired a new executive director, and they also won their first federal grant, a USDA Housing Preservation Grant.
Renovation Alliance transitioned to new software that has helped them automate some parts of their processes. They also engaged more skilled and returning volunteers than previous years.
Service Over Self was awarded a major local government grant for 2023 that will be fully fund all of their construction projects this year. Also, they launched a summer jobs training program component of their after-school construction training program for at-risk youth, where those youth replaced 2 roofs for low-income homeowners in the summer of 2022.
St. Vincent Mission increased their revenue by about 20%, and they started a transitional housing program.
The Jeremiah Project was unable to do many home repairs in 2020 and 2021. Due to this, they were inundated with requests in 2022 for substantial construction projects. Their win was that they were able to meet all of these needs, which they weren't sure they could do given the increased cost of lumber.
The restoration team hosted their first major fundraiser, a trivia night that coincided with the week of Giving Tuesday. Between the event and Giving Tuesday, they raised about $50,000. Also added a treasurer to the board of directors and dramatically improving their accounting practices.
Rebuilding Together, Silicon Valley launched a new pilot program called Building a Healthy Neighborhood, which is a community revitalization model that resulted in much fanfare, press, and interest from sponsors. They also diversified their funding streams to include new federal grants, new cross-sector collaborations, and variations of repayment for service with local health plans.
Rutherford Housing Partnership, for the first time since COVID, increased the number of projects completed to pre-COVID numbers, and they completed more projects in 2022 than they ever have before.
The Building Together of the Triangle repaired more than 200 homes, brought on an in-house electrician team, and acquired on-site warehouse space as well as a warehouse manager.
And last but not least, Hope Builders celebrated the completion of their 1,000th project. The organization was entirely volunteer-led for the first 17 years. And in the last 5 years, they significantly increased their capacity. It took them 22 years to complete their first 1,000 projects, but they will complete their next 1,000 in just 3.5 years.
We love celebrating these wins with you. Our staff has thoroughly enjoyed reading all of these responses, and we'll actually start posting them on social media this week. As we look towards ending our time together today, Freya is going to share some ways that you can help the coalition.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your commitment to proactively keeping people in safe and affordable housing through home repair. Your membership and donations enable the Coalition for Home Repair to be a ready resource for you and those we serve. On Day of Giving, which is today, one way to celebrate our collective wins and contribute to our story is to make a donation of any amount, one time or monthly, through Facebook or on our website. Thank you to those of you who have already donated today. We also want to thank Edward and Wanda Jordan Family Foundation for providing a $5,000 match for our Day of Giving. Thanks to the foundation, your gift will be matched dollar for dollar. And if Bob or Rosemary Argus are present, we would invite them to speak and share some words with us. Not sure if they are.
I believe Bob is here.
Well,
There he
hello,
is.
this is Rosemary.
Oh, and Rosemary's on the phone.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we are very happy to support the Coalition for Home Repair. We believe in your mission, and we were very happy to provide the $5,000, and we will continue to support you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate everything you've done in the past, and we are looking forward to a continued partnership. So we have shared a lot of
Thank you.
information with you today. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I would like to open, yes. I'm sorry.
I think Bob was trying to talk also, but there was an audio
couldn't-
issue where it sounded really slow. Did you want to try to unmute again, Bob? Say anything? Nope.
Yeah, it's not working.
Unfortunately, we can't understand you.
But we thank you, Bob, so much and appreciate everything you've been doing. So as I was mentioning, we have shared a lot of information with you today, and we would like to open this up for questions, and hopefully we'll have some answers about our work. Definitely we can share answers to things in 2022, and we would love to ask questions about our plans for 2023 and any suggestions you may have. So you may ask your questions through the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask it directly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Taylor from Sierra Service Project. I served on the conference planning team for a while, and I'm just curious, do you all need volunteers in any capacity, or are there ways members can support the new and ongoing programs that the Coalition is offering this year?
I definitely see opportunities within our programs for sure. We're always looking for expertise in various topics. So that's definitely a space that we will be looking to our members and board members to help us provide really high quality educational experiences. So definitely we'll love to talk with you about what things you believe you can offer. And I'm sure it's a lot. You also can write them in the chat too. I just not sure if I can see the chat, but definitely we have another co-host. Yes. You mentioned hoping for more member benefits in the future. Can you remind us of what some of those are and point folks in the direction of accessing them? Yes, so I'm going to turn to Adrian as well as Melanie, who both put those benefits packages together on our website. And Adrian is usually the one that contacts new members. So I open it up to them.
So as a new member, of course, when you first join, you receive a welcome email, and it just briefly explains all of the offerings that are available to you, from registration of our webinars to our upcoming events, but we also direct you to our page. And I don't know if anybody is able to screen share our page, but there's actually a tab or a listing on there of all the benefits that are available to you, such as discounted background checks, or Procore, which is a service that a lot of folks are interested for construction projects. We offer discounted shipping and just things like that, in addition to our webinars, our affinity groups, our cohorts, and our potential grant funding. There you can see on our website, of course, it looks different maybe on the Compass side, but you can see our resource and our video library that have a lot of information. I know a lot of folks don't want to, quote unquote, recreate the wheel. So if there's ever a document or something that your particular organization is trying to do, a great first step is to access our resource library. We again have benefits, e-health insurance, Heartland programs, and things like that that are available. But if you are a new member or an existing, and you feel like you are not receiving the full benefit of your membership, please just reach out. We would love to host a Zoom call with you or set up a webinar for multiple people so we can assure that you're getting the most out of your current membership. Melanie, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't think so, but I can sort of navigate just from the homepage. If anyone is a little confused on how to get there, it's pretty easy. From the menu, go to Learn More, hit Member Compass. You are going to have to be logged in to access these benefits. I know you were specifically looking at that, Dawn, and you just scroll right down to this page, hit View All, and you can click Open to that benefit, and it will give you instructions inside the actual post itself. So sometimes it's email someone, sometimes it's, just click here. Sometimes it's a code. It's all a little different depending on who the vendor is. But it's pretty easy to get to. Learn More, Member Compass, just scroll right down.
And at this particular point, we have something really exciting for existing and new membership. Of course, we've mentioned the grant that Lowe's has given us. If you do join, submit your impact report and a short contact survey. As most of our current members are familiar, as our limit allows, you receive a Lowe's gift card, almost double your membership dues. And of course, there's a limited supply of those. So we would like you to join while we still have those available to you.
There's a question in the chat box about consultants, and there is a consulting network. We have about a dozen folks who have volunteered to help in various ways. You can click on their bio and it'll share about what they're offering to help with. Also, if you're looking for somebody or a certain type of talent or skill that's not on there, you're welcome to contact our staff, and chances are that we or one of our other members will know somebody who could work with you. The consultants who are listed here are willing to do a free 30-minute initial session. And then if it's beneficial to you, you could choose whether or not you'd want to engage in a, for higher relationship with them moving forward.
Someone else also noted that think it's Shannon, said they came across a free membership to the GE appliances and just saved $2,000. So that's a pretty nice benefit. So definitely, just if you have questions about any of the benefits, feel free to reach out. Make sure that you can get the most from your membership experience.
I don't
Another
think we
question is,
currently
do we
have
have-
a procurement policy sample in our resource library, but we have a lot of folks listening right now. If anybody would be willing to share that resource, you could email it to Adrian at coalitionforhomerepair.org, and Adrian would put it in the resource library, and everyone could access it there.
And we will actually be continuing to add to that library now that we are managing a federal grant. There are a lot of policies that we, as the coalition, also have to have in place for ourselves. And one of them is procurement, along with several other policies that we will be establishing. So we'll have our own examples, but definitely wanted to lean on those that have been doing this sort of work for a long time and accessing their samples as well. So we hope to be able to have a wealth of samples and opportunities to ask questions as needed. Any other questions on the front of your minds?
There's one in the chat box. What is something you're most excited about for the coalition in 2023?
Wow, I wake up excited. This is an amazing opportunity in that everything that I've done to now, I think has led me to this moment of really working with such an amazing group of people, doing a really good work. Home repair is just something that I felt has been underappreciated in a lot of different spaces. And the fact that the organization is so committed to taking this proactive step is part of my excitement, but also with my background working for foundations as well as for federal funders, I have that fundraising experience, and so I'm really excited to really dive into that. I never thought I would say that, but I've gained enough experience now where I actually enjoy the fundraising. And then the other side is the advocacy. So that is something that anyone can be part of, whether they are a home repair or rehabilitation provider or not. People who care about others staying in their houses, homes, and safe and healthy is something we all get behind. So my hope is to really develop a strong platform for us that really is unique to what we do, and that we bring on a large number of advocates, regardless of what their day job may be, that will want to support and donate and meet us in Washington, hopefully next year.
I'll add that I'm especially excited about the HUD Veterans Grant. We just briefly touched on that earlier, but this was a huge win, not just for the coalition, but for our members, because it's a grant that most of our members were not eligible to apply for on their own. You have to serve either an entire state or the whole country, and most of our members don't fit that criteria. And so to be able to receive $1 million federal grant and to sub-grant it to 14 of our members who will be repairing 80 homes of veterans over the next 3 years. We're just really excited to be able to offer that opportunity. And also it feels like we've kind of cracked the code for that federal grant. And so we're hoping that now we'll have opportunities to apply for lots of other grants to be able to pass those funds on to our members so that more homes can be repaired.
Also, we welcome suggestions of our members. If you see opportunities that you think that we should be tapping into for the benefit of everyone, never feel unsure about that. I also am very happy to provide, I have a Calendly appointment scheduler. So if you want to be able to contact me, I will send that to you, and you can contact me anytime based on your schedule. I really do believe in just getting to know people, talking about what's going on in your communities and what we can do specifically for your communities. We are national in that we are working with on all of the states, hopefully over time, but we never want to forget about each town, city, community, and knowing what's happening there and what we can do to benefit your needs. So feel free to reach out anytime. Make sure we're not missing anybody here. So I also want to open up to our staff. Are there any other announcements or things that you want to share? I know Melanie, Blair, and Adrian, my amazing team. It has been a really intense month. And so if you want to share anything as well about what you're excited about.
I'm excited about the revamping of webinars and hopefully being able to offer more workshops in the future. I know that so many times, especially in the past year, we are zoomed out. But as we are able to offer things that are more specific and helpful to increasing our skill set of our staff and our members, hopefully that will go a long way in helping you serve your community better.
Yeah, I can jump in. So I'm excited to revisit our communications and just really use our platform to celebrate all of our members. So the wins we just shared today, we're going to be rolling that up and probably posting, one per week on our social media, just so that we can celebrate you and use our platform to uplift your organization as best as we can. So one thing you can do to stay informed is you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of us on LinkedIn and maybe a little bit less of us on Facebook. We'll still be participating in other platforms, but we'll probably be prioritizing LinkedIn. So if you are on LinkedIn, go ahead and give us a follow. My goal this year is to double our number of followers there so that we can reach a professional audience. So that's sort of my goal, is just to use our platforms to celebrate all of you and the work you're doing.
And I am excited to connect with each of you. Simply put, together we're stronger. And I think one of the joys of the coalition is getting to work with folks from all over the country and see how you're impacting your communities. And I'm also really excited to learn from each of you. We announced a USDA funding panel that will be coming up in April. And during those wins, we also talked about several members who were awarded USDA grants last year. So tapping into the strengths of our members and helping you all share that with each other, because not only does it help you in your local community, but it could help somebody across the country too. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
I'd just like to add that if you're excited about anything that we shared today, we would love for you to express it either through a quick note to Freya, or a donation would be a really wonderful way to welcome Freya, help lessen the burden on her of all the fundraising goals that we have for this year. So if you would like to make a gift in honor of Freya joining the coalition, you could do that through Facebook. We have a fundraiser there, or our website. And as we mentioned before, thanks to the Edward and Wanda Jordan Family Foundation, we have a $5,000 match. So every gift will be matched dollar for dollar.
Any final questions or comments?
You are doing the Lord's work. God bless.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for joining our annual impact call. We're so grateful that you spent this time with us, and go out there and continue to make an impact in the world. Thank you for all the incredible work you do.
Yes, thank you so much. Hope to hear from all of you soon.
Thanks, Becca.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Ingrid. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Fred, do you want to stop the recording?